There are endless opinions on the best way to study for the ACT. But in my over 6 years of helping students prepare for this test and seeing countless students get perfect scores and close to it, this method is one of the only paths out there to getting consistent and repeatable results. The first thing that you have to do to prepare for the ACT is take a real full-length diagnostic test using realistic ACT practice questions and the realistic ACT grading scale. The ACT website itself has a lot of different questions and practice tests that you can take, plus there are a good number of random databases online that you can use for these tests as well. The only thing is that you do have to be a bit cautious when you're doing this because there are a lot of questions out there that aren't really realistic to the ACT, so you have to find a good practice test that actually mimics the questions that the ACT asks. And once you find a good diagnostic test, you're also going to want to take this in a realistic setting. So you're going to want it to be on like a weekend when you're not at school, ideally at 8 a.m., just like the test will be, and you'll want to get up at the same exact time, go through the same exact process, eat the same breakfast, all of that stuff that you will on the actual test day. This way you can get a real baseline for where you currently are in terms of your ACT preparation. And once you take the test, the next thing that you're going to want to do is grade it, scoring all of the correct answers and all of the incorrect answers, and getting your scale score out of 36. And now that you've graded it, you can go back through and look at every single question that you got incorrect or that you made a guess on and mark all of those questions as ones that you're unsure of. And now that we have that list of questions, we're going to want to go through and categorize each miss that we had as either a content miss or a strategy miss. For example, we would categorize something as a content missed question if we missed a grammar rule like semicolons, colons, periods, anything like that, or maybe a geometry question on the math section, like not knowing the area of a triangle or not knowing the area of a circle or how to find the volume of something, anything like that for a geometry question. And an algebra content miss would be not knowing how to plug in the right number for a function, or maybe not knowing how to find the slope of a line, anything like that. That would be a content miss, something that's a hard and fast rule that you just didn't know, and that's why you missed the question. On the other hand, missing a question because of strategy or approach would look like running out of time on the question or not understanding what the question was asking and just getting lost and turned in circles as you're trying to answer the question, but actually having an understanding of what the content was once you knew what the question was actually asking. And so now that we've broken down these questions into content and strategy, we're going to want to keep a list of each one of these distinctly. So we'll keep a list of all the topics that we missed because of content, all of those algebra things, all of the semicolon, colons, and periods, all of that stuff. And then we'll also want to keep a list of all of the strategy questions that we missed as well. The only difference here is that for these strategy questions that we just listed out, we'll also want to just take a look at the questions themselves and see if there's any similarities between them. On the content side, we already categorize them as algebra, geometry, or like semicolon, colons. But for the strategy questions, we'll want to see if there's any similarities between the types of questions that we're missing. Are we missing these long, drawn-out word problems on the math section? Are we missing data interpretation questions on the science section? Is there any theme that you can find between these categories of strategy questions that you're missing? And you'll want to label these wherever you're keeping track of your questions as well. And now that you have all of your weak areas laid out before you, hopefully in a nice and neat study document for yourself, we can now go into laying out an approach to actually getting better on these questions. The first thing that we're going to do when we're laying out our approach is get a calendar and figure out what your ACT testing day is. Ideally, we're going to want to set a date that's about 6 to 8 weeks in the future so that you have time to study and prepare for all of these things that we're missing out on. And now that we're looking at an actual schedule, we're going to want to divide up our study days into content days and strategy days. And depending on how much you have in each bucket to study, you're going to want to allocate your time accordingly. So if we have a bunch of strategy questions that we're missing, but we're doing pretty well on content, we'll obviously want to dedicate more of our time to strategy studying versus content studying. If it's vice versa, then we'll want to dedicate more of our days to studying content versus studying strategy. A good rule of thumb here is that if we're missing twice the number of questions because of strategy, we'll want to dedicate twice the amount of time, twice the number of study days to studying strategy compared to studying content. And what you'll want to do now is take your calendar between now and the test day that you picked for the ACT and actually lay out what you're going to do on each of these days. Figure out how much time you can allocate each day. Maybe it's an hour a day, maybe it's 2 hours every third day or something like that. Whatever you can actually dedicate to it, and label each day according to this content or this strategy like we just talked about. And so now you've got your entire study schedule laid out for you and you know what you're going to be studying on each given day. Now let's get into exactly how we're going to study it. If it's a content study day, then what we're going to want to do is pick out the top pieces of content that we're missing out on. Again, semicolons, colons, grammar, algebra, all of this type of stuff. And we're going to want to figure out which one the most important thing to study first is. It'll be the type of content that we're missing the highest number of questions on. So for example, let's say it's semicolons. What we're going to want to do is figure out a free resource. Maybe it's Khan Academy, maybe it's YouTube, maybe it's really anything out there on the internet that can help us learn semicolons. And we're going to learn about all of the reasons why we could possibly use a semicolon. And we're going to try and apply the rules that we just learned about using semicolons to these practice questions until we don't get any of these practice questions incorrect anymore. And if you're looking for some good resources on how to approach some of these content questions, then I've actually been posting some recent short form videos on how to approach different specific pieces of content. So check the short form channel out for some of that stuff. And so that covers the basics of studying our content. Now, on the other hand, we're also going to want to cover all of the strategy, and we need to figure out how to do that as well. So we'll take that study document that we talked about earlier with all of our strategy questions that we missed and all the types of questions that those are. Again, whether that's the long drawn out word problems on the math section or data interpretation on the science, really anything that we can categorize each question into. And we'll look at all of those buckets. And again, we're going to focus on the buckets where we're missing the most number of questions. And now this does get a little bit more difficult to study. It's not quite as straightforward as studying for the content, but we'll want to take a look at all of these practice questions that we missed and just try out some new approaches to these types of questions. Think outside the box for where you specifically are running into trouble on these questions, and then come up with a creative, again, think outside the box here, way of now approaching these types of questions that might solve your specific problem. And once you figure out a new approach or a new strategy that you think works for you, practice it until it feels very comfortable and you can do it again and again on practice questions without getting these questions wrong. Every single question that we miss is either content or strategy. So if we fix both of those things, then there really is no reason for us to ever miss a question on the ACT. Obviously, it's going to be very difficult to get a perfect score, but if we can really lock down the places where we're making the largest number of mistakes, that's where we'll find the most improvement on our ACT score. And now the next important part of this methodology of studying for the ACT is taking check-in practice tests periodically. This is how we check in to just make sure that we're actually getting better on the ACT. We'll want to make sure that as we're doing this content and strategy studying, we're actually improving our score, getting fewer and fewer questions wrong over time. If we're not improving and we're actually getting more of these questions wrong, then there must be something wrong with our studying. Again, we'll want to figure out whether the questions we're missing are content or strategy questions, and then see, okay, why are we moving backwards in these areas? Did I forget something in these specific areas, or did I actually learn something incorrectly? And we'll use these check-in points just to make sure that everything is going according to plan. And if you find out that something's not working, and either you're missing the same number of questions in one category, or you're even missing more questions of a new content category that you weren't missing before, then we should probably reevaluate some of our study strategies and try and figure out a new way to learn whatever it is, whether it's content or strategy, that we're missing more of. This is where you'll want to really look into alternative sources of preparation. This could be studying with friends who are doing really well in their preparation, consulting with some of your teachers to see if they have any advice for you, or hiring a private tutor that can really help take your score to the next level and make sure that you're on the right path. But at the end of the day, even if you end up going with a private tutor, all they're going to do is basically lay out all of this stuff for you, at least if they're doing it correctly. All ACT preparation can fall into the categories of either content or strategy, and just laying out a roadmap for getting these two things locked down. So that's all a really good tutor will do for you. So if you're a self-starter, then there's really no reason that you can't just do all of this preparation on your own. But again, if you are looking for some additional help, then that's where having someone hold you accountable and lay out all of the study strategies for you can really be a useful way to spend your time and not have to worry about whether you're doing it correctly or incorrectly. And that's really all the advice I can give for the best method of preparing for the ACT. Chances are, if you're watching this, you're probably stressed out about preparing for the ACT. And look, I completely get it. But on the bright side, we should always remember that one bad ACT score can't hurt you, but one great ACT score can change your life positively forever. So I hope that mindset shift can take a little bit of stress off your back, at least for the moment. Now, if you are interested in getting some private tutoring to help you get ready for the ACT, then go ahead and click that link below and we can talk soon. Other than that, stay tuned to the channel for more advice on how to get the best ACT score, how to earn the most scholarship money, and how to get into the best colleges, and I will see you in the next one.